earn more money but too busy to start a side hustle? Do it the right way and teach your money to make more money for yourself, even when you're asleep. Dale Corpus will show you just how here on the School of Cash Flow. With his entrepreneurial mindset and extensive experience in real estate and finance, Dale will help you become a responsible, strategic, and passionate passive real estate investor. Learn how you can increase your earnings or find more ways to make money, only here on the School of Cash Flow.
Good afternoon and welcome to the School of Cash Flow podcast. I'm the host, Dale Corpus. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. As tomorrow is Thanksgiving, at least the time of recording this. I'm grateful for all my listeners and guests and for all the relationships I've formed just by podcasting. It's been a really great community, and I'm just going to keep moving forward with it because it's been a blessing, actually, in disguise. I have a great guest for you today. His name is Morad Fiki, and he's on a mission to inspire 10 million real estate professionals and associated services and providers to grow their businesses to six figures and beyond so that they can make a greater impact on their lives, families, and communities. Also cool, tidbit about him is he went from a teen runaway, now as a luxury realtor. He's the number one real estate expert on social media in Texas, and he's been awarded top 1.4% of real estate agents in the U.S. With real estate trends for 100 million in real estate sales. He's also a dad, real estate investor, and it's a pleasure to bring him on. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Morad. How are you?
Yes. Thank you so much. What a kind introduction. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, by the way. You ready?
I don't know. Well, actually, my wife's been handling everything. She's doing such an incredible job. We got a bunch of food that we ordered. It's going to make everything so much easier than having to cook all this food. It's just too much.
Yeah. Well, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, almost like I didn't think I was going to ask this, but I might as well ask this. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, what are you thankful for? Anything that comes to mind?
That is a great question. That is a great question. It's actually so great because we need to pause and reflect upon what are we grateful for, and we should all be doing that. And I'll be the first to say that I don't reflect on being grateful as much as I should. Mm-hmm. And so that's a great question. So yeah, thanks for that. I'm grateful for everybody who supported my business over the last decade. I look back and it's been, next year will be 10 years that I've been in this business in real estate. I was discharged from active duty U.S. Navy service February of 2013. So February, it'll be 10 years, and it's been an incredible ride. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for my friends, fans, supporters, everybody who's championed my business. I'm so grateful. It just means the world to me. This is how I provide for my family and hopefully have an impact on people here in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, when you started your real estate career, was it always in Houston, or did you start somewhere else? Or tell me about that.
Yeah, definitely. So, I'm from Houston. I was born in Laramie, but raised in Houston, Texas. Okay. And so to me, Houston is my home. I joined the military twice from Houston. Joined the Marines fresh out of high school. Actually, I enlisted when I was still in high school. And then I joined the Navy when I was in college. And so Houston is home. I love Houston. Love to travel, but really Houston is home for me. So I definitely started my business here in Houston and have been working the entire greater Houston metropolitan area for the last 10 years, almost.
Awesome. One of the interesting things in your bio is that you were a teen runaway. What were you running away from?
Oh man, great question. So, I was, my parents divorced when I was 7, and my mom is from Venezuela and my father is from Egypt. So they were both immigrants. So I'm a first-born generation American citizen. My parents immigrated to the US and their marriage didn't make it. And so my dad left. I never saw him again, went back to Egypt. My mom ended up remarrying into an extremely abusive marriage. And so they would just fight every single day. It was ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
You know, I was calling the cops pretty much every day to come arrest my stepfather. And when I was 16, I had it. You know, I mean, they loved beating each other up every day, and I just couldn't take it. So there was no stability, no security. It felt horrible being in that house. And so I bolted. I left, and I never looked back. I was sleeping on my friends' couches the last like year and a half of high school.
Wow.
Literally sleeping from couch to couch. And I didn't drop out. I was like, I'm going to finish high school. But it taught me a lot about life, perseverance, determination, dedication. It was rough, but it made me a little bit tough. So
yeah, I mean, those are quite the skill sets that we definitely need, you know, just to be an entrepreneur in general, just to be able to grind it out, you know, and stick with it. No, that's amazing. Can I ask you, so how did you transition from the military to becoming a realtor? Was that something it's a lot of times when I talk, I'm a realtor too, obviously. It's like,
yeah,
it seemed to just happen and fell in place, but it was nothing that I ever thought I'd end up doing as an adult. It just made sense at the time of when the opportunity came by. But
it's funny. Yeah, I heard someone else say nobody becomes a realtor. Like nobody was in elementary school thinking, gosh, when I grow up, I want to be a realtor.
No,
you know?
I don't know anybody that says that. Real estate is something that feels like it happens to you.
Exactly. You know, the majority of us come from other
like backgrounds, professions, right? Yeah, I came from engineering.
I know doctors who are realtors. I know lawyers. I'm sure you know lawyers.
I know a lot of people.
You know, you name it. I know home inspectors who are realtors now. So no, it's a great question. How did I become a realtor? Well, I was always interested in real estate.
Yeah.
You know, especially, I mean, you know, when I was in college, I would read all of Donald Trump's books, The Art of the Deal. This is way before he was into politics. So I was just interested in how did he become wealthy through real estate specifically. And then I would read Robert Kiyosaki's books, you know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is a classic. I would read a ton of real estate books, and then people would come and do these seminars on real estate, you know, and I would go to all of them. You know, here's a free ticket or $50 or whatever. You know, of course, it was to pitch you, you know, another program or something. But I wanted to learn real estate. I was like, what is, you know, and then I thought, and this is why I was doing my undergrad degree. I was like, I probably need to get my real estate license. Mm-hmm. If I get my real estate license, then I'll know real estate. This is what I was thinking. And they don't teach you anything in real estate school, by the way. But I was like, you know, if I get my real estate license, then I'll know real estate and I can get rich, you know? So obviously didn't act like that. But I got my license during college and I went straight into the US Navy. So I didn't really have a chance to practice real estate, but I knew it was something I could fall back on if my career in the military didn't work out. And that's what ended up happening. I just dove right in when I was honorably discharged.
Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of times, people that think about real estate, I guess a lot of times I'm noticing a lot of people sometimes would rather be like a real estate investor per se than I want to be a realtor or whatnot, especially when they read like a Rich Dad Poor Dad type of book by Kiyosaki. Like, where did you fit? Did you say, hey, I know for sure I want to be a realtor? Or do you know what I mean? It's like, I know you're an investor as well, but like,
sure,
along the line. So,
No, that's great. You know, and then another thing I was thinking like, well, you know, when I was in college, I was broke. So it was like, you know, invest what, you know?
Well, I think everybody, that's all of us.
It's like, what do I have to invest? You know, $10. So I was like,
can I invest in negative bank account? Yeah.
You know, I was like, shoot, if somebody will take me as an investor, that'll be great. You know, I'm right here. You know, and of course, these seminars I would go to, they'd say, oh, get into real estate with no cash, no credit, no job, no income. Of course, you know, it's a hook to get you in.
Absolutely.
But I was like, well, I could probably, you know, sell homes on the side or do it as a side gig while I go to school. and I can make money, make a living selling homes, which would eventually lead me to investing, developing, whatever, and so that's how I got started. I knew, I was like, if I become a realtor, I can learn real estate while making money, and then that can lead to other things.
Yep. I had a similar philosophy too. It's like we do a lot of similar things, and like but I had that core interest was in everything related to real estate, and it's still yeah. And it's still, I think, that excitement of just everything in real estate. There's so many things you could tap into. There are so many income streams that you could create, just the different avenues, and it's just so exciting. Never gets boring.
Oh, 100%, 100%. When I first got started, I was thinking about rental houses, and then like, gosh, I would love to, build some homes, which I've done that too. But the space I really am like in love with is multifamily apartment investing, making passive income, cash flow. I didn't even know about that. I hadn't even thought about that when I was in real estate school. I had no idea. And learning that you can buy these huge assets which will pay you forever. I mean, wow, it's just such an incredible philosophy.
No, it's good. I mean, speaking of the fact that you're a realtor, that you invest, I mean, not many realtors invest. Not many realtors, for that matter, save. Many live, commission to commission. And I know, I know a good amount of them. So it's amazing that, you got yourself self-education and whatnot, and you actually even know what a syndication is. Whereas even I'm in the Bay Area and whatnot, like a lot of realtors here don't even know what the idea of a syndication is, let alone, the idea of like real estate investing. So it's nice knowing that other realtors, like that just are tapping into investing and whatnot, and also just teaching other folks, how to be successful, build their businesses and just also grow wealth. So I can relate to you on all that kind of stuff. Can I ask you this? I wanted to ask you, what was your first real estate investment? Like my podcast is a lot to do with just real estate investing and mindset and all that stuff too, which is what I want to dig more into. But like, what was your first real estate investment? Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. It was a flip. I did a flip and it wasn't a big flip, and it kind of landed on my lap. Like I had no idea about flipping or wholesaling or rehabbing homes and stuff like that. And I've been selling homes for a few years now. And there was a friend of mine who is also an estate attorney, and a gentleman had passed away. His daughter was coming from New York to liquidate all his assets, and he said, you should call Morad Fiki. He's amazing. He'll help you out. So she called me and she told me, my dad passed away. I'm coming to Houston. This was like Monday. She's like, I'm coming to Houston on Friday. I'm going to sell everything. She said, I'm not putting this house on the market. I'm not, doing inspections and BS and whatever. I want a cash offer on Friday. So-and-so told me you were great. Can you, she's like, I'm coming here Friday. I'm going to sell everything. And I want this house sold in like a week or two. Like, I'm not putting it on the market. And I was like, wow, okay. She gave me a few days to think about it, because I was like, okay, she doesn't want to put it on the market. She doesn't want me to market it. She just wants a cash offer. I can buy it, but I can't pay retail.
Yeah.
And so I told her that when I met with her on Friday, I was like, I'll buy it. I mean, because she was like, do you have someone who will buy this? And I said, I'll buy it. I can't pay retail. The house needed a ton of work. He had actually passed away in the house.
Okay.
And he'd been there for a few days before they found him. So like there was like bio people like doing a bios. It was horrid, and there was no AC in there, and it's just a ton of stuff. So I was like, I gotta do a ton of work to this. But I mean, she was like, great, make me an offer. And I was like, I can do 70 or 75,000. And she was like, 75 sold. I should have just said 70, but I said I can do 70 or 75. So she said 75 sold. You got the paperwork to sign or what? And I was like, oh, let me run to the office. I'll be right back.
Yes.
So that kind of landed on my lap. I ended up spending about $21,000 fixing it up, and I sold it in 90 days for $148,000. So it was a great learning experience. That was my first investment. I had to line up the financing, I had to line up the contractors, I had to do all that.
Yep.
And it was great. And it was a great deal, worked out. I said, woo, I need to do more of this.
More of that. Yeah, absolutely. And then how did you even get connected to the world of syndications? Was it through networking? Was it through podcasts?
That was great. I started following Grant Cardone back in 2019. He was the first one who's talking about passive income, making money while you sleep. I know we've all heard Warren Buffett say it, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work till you die.
Yep.
But he really, really resonated with him. Talking about buying real estate, taking his earned income that he wakes up, gets out of bed every day, taking that and buying a piece of real estate that will just pay him forever.
Yep.
It's like, wow, it was so interesting.
Yep.
And so I ended up going to another boot camp of his, and then I ended up investing in that was my first multifamily deal. I invested in one of his deals, and it's paid me ever since 2019 every single month. So I was like, wow, this is great, And so learned about that. Yeah.
Got it. Now that I know that you're connected to the Grant Cardone, are you I take it, do you go to these 10X conferences? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, every year.
Yeah,
every year.
Nice. Yeah.
I've been every year since 2019. So this 2023 will be my 5th consecutive year.
I might have been to the one. I went to one 10X conference. It was either in 2018 or 2019. It was in Vegas, but I think he always has them in Vegas.
Yeah. No, yeah. That was 2020. That was 2020.
Well, I could tell by the Flow Rider was performing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you there?
I was there.
Yeah, I was there.
2020 because 2019 was in Miami. 2020 was in Vegas. 2021 was in Miami. That was right after COVID. And then 2022 was in Miami, and next year will be in Vegas again, 2023. Yeah.
Very cool. But hey, but let's switching back just to your local real estate market over in Texas. How is the current state of the real estate market out over there?
It's tightened up a little bit. I'm sure you've seen it too. I mean, we've lost about 40% of the buyers due to the interest rates doubling in about 180 days. It's ridiculous. Never seen this in my career. I mean, I've been in the business now almost 10 years. This is the first time that interest rates have risen this fast, this fast. So it is having an impact. And it's tightening the market up a little bit, but homes are still selling. In fact, we got 3 sales closing today. Yep. So, people think, homes aren't selling. Homes are selling. It's just sellers need to be a lot more honest about pricing. They're not getting the 15 or 20% premium they were last year.
Yep. I mean, nowadays with sellers, on my side, and I'm sure it's the same on your side, a lot of more education is involved just so that they really know what's, to expect, when they need to be prepared for incentives, seller incentives that is kind of unheard of just in my area for the last 4 or 5 years and whatnot. And, that buying down the interest rates for the buyers now is actually a thing, and it actually works. I'm sure you're doing similar tactics out over there in your area too. It's but the stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I did a video about a 2-1 rate buy down. That's starting to get popular. Also permanent rate buy downs, which is being available for if you're willing to buy down the points. So there's a few different options available.
I know you're running a team and whatnot over there. It's what, out of curiosity, since we're both, running real estate teams, what is your focus now, just in generating business? Has it changed just even from the beginning of the year of how you guys are going about getting business?
Oh, definitely. Real estate is a contact sport. So I tell new agents, you've got to make contacts. Contacts turn into contracts. And then the other thing which Grant taught me is, the best known product will always beat the best product. We've seen this time and again with various companies. Microsoft beat Apple, a superior product, for 20 plus years because Microsoft was more widely known.
Yeah.
So, that's the big thing. The best known product will always win. So how are you getting known? How are you getting exposed? How are you getting your name out there? How are you meeting people, and how many people are you talking to every single day?
Yep.
And you'd be surprised how many realtors just wake up with no plan whatsoever and they're just like, at the behest of the universe. Whatever happens to me today. I'm just going to mosey on around and see if some business finds me. That's not realistic.
Right.
No business succeeds like that.
Right.
You've got to be intentional. You've got to be deliberate. You've got to get out there. You got to make an impact. You got to make contacts. You got to go network. You got to meet people. So that's just being in sales,
Absolutely. It's like I always tell agents too, this like the newer ones, it's like, if like you can't be a success in real estate if you're trying to be a secret agent and not tell people that you're in the business. It's like, why isn't your social media even like talking about that you're in the business? You can even start there. It's like, you want as many people to know that you're in this, or else the contacts are, the lifeline of your business and whatnot. So it's really interesting. And it's just like, speaking of which, I know that you're heavy on social media and whatnot, which is great. It's like I'm loving what you're like. I'm loving the fact that you're doing all that stuff. Even social media, that social media game, it's like a full-time job nowadays. Running social media and whatnot as because you could. I mean, but I love social media because you're able to just, be in it, like be present and be on everybody's feeds. They're going to see you. They're going to know who you are. You're really creating that brand. So when did you start utilizing social media and take it very seriously out of curiosity?
Oh yeah. I mean, I learned from Grant, and then other influencers that have huge social media followings, that social media is an amplifier. It allows me to amplify my message and get my message out to the masses. And instead of making phone calls, nothing wrong with making phone calls. You should make phone calls. But instead of one-on-one, I'm making a phone call. If I have a half-hour conversation, it's great. I got to connect with someone, but that's with one person. I can put out a video on my Instagram where I have almost 200,000 followers, and boom, I can hit everybody at one time and let people see who resonates with me.
Yeah.
People are going to be attracted to people they resonate with. So, the great thing about social media, it condenses the time frame. What might take me 2 to 3 years to get to know someone intimately and on a personal level, social media, within 60 to 90 days, people feel like they know you if you're utilizing it appropriately. Yeah. So you've got to put content out. You've got to be authentic.
Yeah.
And you've got to let people in, and I coach a number of agents and I tell them this, like, don't be the guy who's just only talking about real estate and telling everyone you're a realtor. And people know that. Let people in. Who is Morad Fiki? When you come on my social media world, who is Morad Fiki? What do I stand for? What do I like? What is my personality? I want to let people into my world and become a part of my life. And that's really what it is. And so I hear some people say, oh, there's no privacy in social media. Well, no kidding. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to be it's like, dude, if you're going to be in sales, you've got to get out there. Social media is an amplifier. It was not made to be private. And by the way, privacy's gone. In this day and age, privacy's over. When people are like, there's no privacy, I don't like that people can find me and know what I'm doing. And dude, I mean, if you're on social media, that's the whole point.
Yep. How has social media, kind of elevate your business? Or are there any like stories or, things that, or just opportunities that came up just that you could directly pinpoint because of social media?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm getting people reaching out to me on TikTok. I had a guy from Twitter call me because he didn't like his real estate agent, said, she's not doing anything. I saw you on Twitter. I saw what you're doing. I see you're very active. Can you help me sell my house? And it's like, whoa, from Twitter. I didn't know the guy. So this came straight from Twitter. I've had the same effect on Facebook. I've had people find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram. I had an investor buy a luxury house in Colorado, reach out to me on Instagram, wanted some, advice. I told him what I thought. I was heading to Vegas for a conference, a hard money lender conference. A friend of mine had invited me. I was going, and he was like, dude, I'll meet you up there. I never met the guy. So we ended up meeting in I forget what hotel we were staying at. But we met for lunch, had a great lunch, discussed ideas. He's a big real estate investor, someone very influential that, would be great to meet. I literally met him off Instagram. So these are the things that social media does. It connects people that wouldn't otherwise know each other. And I have someone even here in Houston. She moved to Houston from London, wanted some advice on real estate. We ended up jumping on a phone call, and she follows me on Instagram. So that's the power of social media. It's great. I'm meeting people that I would otherwise never likely have met.
Yeah, and when they reach out to you, they already feel there's already that automatic trust when they reach out to each other, which is what I like too, right?
Like, man, I love your videos. How's the family?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that's what I'm saying. It's crazy because I never met them, but they know a lot about me. Social media.
What's your favorite type of content to put out? Do you have a certain type of content that you like to consistently put out on social media?
I love putting out motivational content. I love letting people into my life and also like talk about what's on my mind. There's days we wake up, we don't feel like working, we don't feel like putting in effort. And those are the days I'm going to get on social media and talk about that. Yeah. And I know people resonate with that because they're like, man, I needed to hear that, or that was great. Like I was feeling down too. And thank you for putting that post. So I love doing stuff like that. I love inspiring people. So, inspirational, motivational posts are what I love doing. And I love watching that stuff. I love consuming that content. I watch, Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Russell Brunson. I watch a ton of guys who inspire me. And then I want to give back and inspire others.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of, your desire to like inspire and help others, like it really just shows in the way you talk. Like what is your vision for helping people?
Well, I want to help I came from humble beginnings. I didn't really have a father figure in my life, came from a very abusive household, and I've been able to become successful on my own pretty much. And it's been difficult, so I want to inspire others to dig deep for greatness. We all have greatness within us, and a ton of us play on a subpar level because we don't want to challenge ourselves. We don't like the feeling of discomfort. Mm-hmm. We don't like, being in business is brutal. Starting a business is brutal. That's any business because being the entrepreneur who needs to go out there and hustle and hit the pavement and find business. And if you don't eat. It is difficult. This is why a lot of people prefer to work for other companies or entrepreneurs. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But if you have the calling and you feel the burning desire in your heart to do something great and start a business, it is really difficult. And so, I want to inspire people who want to be successful and who want to achieve greatness and who want to create a life for themselves.
Got it. It's like, business, whatever business it is, whether it's real estate or investing or just any other business, it really requires really a strong mindset, which I know you have. It's just like, are there things that you could say that helped, craft or just develop your strong mindset?
Sure.
Yeah. Like what has, what life experiences or what books or what classes or whatnot have attributed just to you being you? Mm-hmm.
I have worked on my mindset for years and I continue to work on it. Mindset is something that needs to be nurtured daily. It's like having a forest and it needs water every single day and sun, and it needs to be nurtured. So working on your mindset, it takes a commitment, it takes a discipline. And that's me also finding people who've inspired me, like Tony Robbins. I did a ton of Tony Robbins training, and even now when I revisit another one of those trainings or one of his seminars, I learned something I didn't catch the first time. I always get these nuggets. And then learning from business people who are way more successful than me, like Grant Cardone, Russell Brunson, all these guys who teach me about online sales and building a business and building a following. And so, the other part I want to point out is you've got to get rid of the negative, bad seeds, negativity, negative people who don't who don't have a vision, people who want to drag you down. And sometimes these types of people are your family members. I know I've had family members, and as I mentioned, I've come from a very negative environment. And so you've got to cut people out sometimes. And that might be cutting out family members. But you know what? I don't care, because more important to me is my family and my vision for the future and creating a beautiful life for my family. And so if that means cutting off negative people and building a more positive circle, that's what I want to do. I also pay a ton of money to go to some incredible masterminds with people who are way more successful than me, and getting people to elevate my thinking, elevate my consciousness, getting me to think bigger. And then I realized, like, gosh, I'm thinking way too small. When you get around some big thinkers who are like, you get around them for a day and see how you start thinking and what you open your eyes to. So long answer to a deep question.
That does definitely answer, questions. It's I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly and whatnot. One of the biggest mastermind that I've been a part of in the last 2 years, it's called GoBundance. And it's been amazing just seeing all those entrepreneurs just really open my eyes to things that I wasn't exposed to yet. So I was just like, I thought pretty big until I met these other people. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. So now it's leveled me up to just creating, doing even more cool stuff in my life, and also maintaining a balanced life, because I don't always want to be working, which is cool. It's just like, I believe like you could have, you could still have success and still have a great life and travel with your family and, do all the stuff that you wanted to do, and, live out your life to its wildest dreams and be very happy. And so it's just kind of amazing surrounding yourself, just with people that think a similar way, because it just elevates you there and you're going to get there faster. Absolutely. I have a question. You were talking about like negative people and whatnot. Like, why do you think that we feel comfortable around just hanging around, negative people and not and just not, it's easier said than done, and not, walking away from it?
That's a great question. I think society in general gives us negative conditioning. And so, not only coming from a negative environment, but also going to school and just all the negative naysayers over the years. Like, I have kids, right? And so the younger they are, you cannot convince a kid that they cannot do anything one day, or that they can't achieve anything. I mean, think about it. When you were a kid, the dreams you had and the desires. And, I know when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut and a doctor and a Top Gun pilot, all of them, and I was going to be the president of the United States. So as a kid, we have these visions and we really think big. Yeah. And it's society that tells you like, oh gosh, that's too hard. You can't do that. Why are you, you need to just go to school and just, live a mediocre life. That's what you're supposed to do. It's so disappointing. And that's why, my wife and I, we don't want to do that to our kids. We want to champion them, build them up, and get them to think big. Yeah. And so I think that negative conditioning, and then that coupled with, being in negative circumstances and just, everybody pulling each other down, it just brings everyone down. So the fact is, if you want to think big, you want to think positive, you almost have to unlearn what you've learned for the last 20, 30 years.
Yep, that's a good point. Speaking of just, going back to your real estate business, like, I know you run a team and whatnot. Like, tell me more about your team. Like, how big is your team? And it looks like you're trying to, like, do you have big goals to expand it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a small team right now where we have a very small but efficient team. Yeah. And we're crushing real estate here in Houston, but I definitely want to grow and continue to expand upon my vision of building a brand. I'm building a brand which is so much bigger than just real estate. I want to get into other verticals, other businesses. And so I'm definitely focusing on real estate, but that starts with me building a following and building a brand that's known, where we can participate in anything. We can get endorsement deals, we can do anything, and we will be able to create revenue streams. And so that's my vision, is building a brand and adding to the team. I want to get agents who have a burning desire to be successful and are willing to do whatever it takes. Becoming successful is difficult, but if you're willing to do whatever it takes, you can become successful. There's a ton of agents, I'm sure you know them too, that just want everything handed to them.
Right.
They don't want to put in any work. They just want things on a silver platter. And that's not realistic, not in real estate, not in any business. And so that's not who I'm looking for. So it's been a little bit of a struggle finding the right people, but we're finding them. We're interviewing a ton of agents and we're building our team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally agreeing with you. It's like, I don't care how many agents I have per se. I'm looking for quality for agents that stay with me in the long run, that actually are contributing to the unified vision that we have and growing the business together, and that that it's a win-win situation for both of us, rather than just getting a number of just getting agents that'll just come and go and whatnot. Because in my own group, it's just like, and I'm sure it's similar to you, it's just like the agents that we bring in, it feels like family at the same time though too, and we're really there for each other. And I can't, it's one of those things, we can't just we're more successful together than working independently.
Absolutely.
Because it's like it's a team sport at the same time too. It's just like, it's a high contact sport, real estate is, the sales business, and it's really a team sport. You can't do it yourself. Absolutely. And out of curiosity, what other kinds of verticals are you thinking of potentially even getting into?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I want to get into fashion. I want to get into, beverages. I want to get into, men's exotic attire. If you could tell, I love to dress nice. I want to get into other things that we can promote and build a brand, and definitely do. I look at so many entrepreneurs that have built brands beyond what they started in because they're known, and that's what I want to do. Yeah.
Got it. So it's like, would you consider yourself more of just like an entrepreneur, or more of like a realtor, or what would you call yourself?
Well, yeah, definitely. I've always felt and believed that even being a realtor, you're really an entrepreneur at first, or at like my first part is being an entrepreneur. And so I always knew that I wanted to be in business, and that was even before I got into real estate. But I do love real estate. Real estate, it's with all these technological changes, social media, Amazon, everybody ordering online, you still need a place to live. Everyone needs a place to live. You need a place to sleep, right? And relax, and come home from. So that's what I love about real estate. Even with technology advancing, even with Zoom meetings now, and they're saying, oh, we don't need office space, everyone's going to work virtually. I don't know if that's going to be true, but I know you need a place to sleep at night.
That makes sense. Like what has real estate done for you just in your life and in general? I mean, if you weren't obviously you chose real estate as your as the method by which you'd be building your business and whatnot, but what has it done for you, just this, from the investing, from the sales and all that kind of stuff? Like, what has it done for you in your life?
Well, it's definitely allowed me the latitude to raise my family, be a father, and still, show homes and build a brand. I want to build a brand where people follow me because I have some incredible listings and because of my personality, and then both can benefit the other. So that's been some of the offshoots. And then also, build wealth, invest, create enough income to where we have income to invest. Yeah. And invest in real estate, invest in passive income. I want to get paid now. Everybody has a 401k and an IRA, and those are great. But that's just a theory. That's like, okay, I'm not saying don't save in a 401k, but I want to invest in assets that pay me now. I want something paying me now. I want something working for me. I work so hard, but I want to invest in something that will work for me and pay me now, not 40 years from now, So that's what real estate's taught me. It's been great.
I have some final questions for you. My first one is what are you excited about right now in your business?
What am I excited about right now? I'm excited about going online. I'm excited about new business we're launching, mentoring and coaching real estate agents.
That's awesome.
I want to help them. 9 out of 10 real estate agents don't make it the first 5 years. And so I want to find the ones who are committed and dedicated and help them build their names and their business. And then also building our team and building a powerhouse here in Houston. I want to be a major player in Houston. Where you think about Houston real estate, you think about me. And that's really where my goal is here in Houston. And I know I can do that through online digital advertising, social media, and taking my brand and my likeness online. So the old school methods of advertising are just very expensive and ineffective. And the new school methods, social media, digital advertising, are so much more powerful. That's why I've spent the last 10 years studying and learning and doing the best, latest, greatest strategies so I can build my brand. And so, I want you to think of Houston real estate. You think of Morad Fiki.
Nice.
That's really what I'm excited about.
What does success mean to you?
Success means freedom. That's what success, freedom, you're having
freedom of time.
Both freedom of time and freedom of, hey, I want to go on vacation this weekend here, and I can do that. I want to take my family to see some beautiful sights and eat the best foods and stay in the nicest places, and I can do that. And my business doesn't stop because I left.
Yeah,
that's true freedom. A lot of us, when we start our businesses, they can't function without us. So it's kind of like you start your business for freedom, but you end up shackling yourself.
Yeah.
And we've all been guilty of this, especially in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship. But, true freedom means my business operates and functions with or without me. And so I can step away for a week and everything's still moving forward. And if not, getting more business than when I was here. That's true freedom, I believe.
No, absolutely.
And that's success.
Speaking of traveling, is there any other bucket list types of vacations or places that you want to, go to?
The Maldives and Bora Bora.
Both of those are on my list too. Hey, what's your superpower that's contributed to your success so far?
My superpower, I would probably say, is my authenticity. If you follow me, and I would say, I would love to connect with any of your viewers on any social media platform. I'm on all of them. So you pick your favorite platform and let's connect and follow my content. And I really hope my vision and my superpower, I hope, is that when people follow me or we connect on social media, they feel like they really get to know me and they feel my authenticity comes across the videos, comes across my content. I really like putting out, what are my thoughts and what do I feel? What have I been through, the struggles I've been through? Because I want to inspire people and hopefully it comes across as authentic and people can connect with that.
Yep.
In a short period of time.
So. Yeah, I get it. And any final words or advice, or maybe is there something I should have asked you that I didn't ask yet?
I think we covered a lot, Dale. And I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for considering me, bringing me on your show. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience. I definitely owe you one on the other side. If you need anything, definitely would love to help you and be of service to you. And just wish you and your audience a very happy Thanksgiving. I'd love to connect with anybody. Pick your favorite platform. Let's connect. And I'll see you soon.
I love that. I love that you're in everything. So let's see. What's the best ways for somebody to get a hold of you?
Yeah, definitely. Any social media platform or HoustonLuxuryRealEstate.com, which I will add is the premier website for luxury homes in Houston, Texas. HoustonLuxuryRealEstate.com or MoradFiki.com.
Okay.
That's just like my name, OradFiki.com, and or any social media platform. I'd love to connect.
And we'll have all of your contact info also in the show notes too, regardless. So all good. Thanks you, Morad, for being a guest. Thanks for your time. You come across as very authentic. very easy to talk to, and like very inspirational. So thank you for that. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, again, thank you all for being listeners to my show. Thanks for being a guest today, Morad. And it's just I look forward to connecting you sometime in person, one time or another.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send referrals your way.
Likewise, and it's probably even more so easy for me to send them your way because the people from the Bay are moving to your area.
A lot of people are moving to Houston. It's been amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's just more so I could see more so the outflows coming from the San Francisco Bay Area to your place. So we could probably be in touch regarding. We could definitely be in touch regarding that kind of stuff. So my listeners, feel free to reach out to Morad directly if you have any questions for him. And thanks for checking out this episode of the School of Cash Flow. Remember to leave me a podcast review on iTunes, as it helps me attract even more great guests just like Morad. So until next time, live life abundantly.
Thanks, Dale. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the School of Cash Flow. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into all the tips and tricks you can use to help you on your passive investing journey. In the meantime, you may visit www.cashflowschoolpodcast.com for more great episodes. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, and share. That's all for this episode, folks. See you next time.